Today I'm going to show you how you can use Terraform to create WAF rules that are going to defend even the most ridiculous web app that you can imagine. I'm going to be doing all of this in GCP, so I'm going to be using Cloud Armor. Here's my Terraform project. I'm going to start by creating my main.tf, which is my whole infrastructure. Security.tf is the engine of how Terraform reads my security rules. My outputs.tf is where I'm going to specify what am I going to print to the terminal after something is created, and the WAF rules.yaml are going to be my WAF rules themselves. So let's start. I'm going to go to main.tf. I'm going to define my provider, which is going to be GCP. That's my project ID and my region. Then I'm going to enable the necessary APIs. Then I'm going to deploy my app to Google Cloud Run. I'm going to make it accessible only through the load balancer. It's going to be the infamous Juice Shop app. If you've never heard of this app, it's an intentionally broken and insecure web app full of injections, full of vulnerabilities. It is often used to teach about those vulnerabilities. I'm going to allow all of the users coming through the load balancer to reach this app. I'm going to create a pointer, a logical connection so that load balancer knows where my Cloud Run app lives. I'm going to define the routing rules for the load balancer, deciding which backend service receives incoming requests. And here, all traffic goes to the Juice Shop backend. Then I'm going to terminate incoming HTTP connections, and I'm going to use URL map to forward requests to the correct backend. And then I'm going to create a public global entry point, a public IP, listening on port 80 that's going to send incoming traffic to the load balancer. The base of our necessary infrastructure is done. Now I'm going to go to security.tf, and I'm going to tell Terraform to read this YAML file, and I'm going to create the logic to create a new Cloud Armor rule for each rule found in the WAF rules.yaml. If none of those rules are matched, then we're going to fall into the default rule. So basically the logic that I'm implementing here is that I'm going to add rules to the waf-rules.yaml file, and this logic is going to generate a Cloud Armor rule for each WAF rule that I send to this file. At first, I'm not going to have any rule there. Now on outputs.tf, I'm going to specify that I want to know what is the public IP address of my load balancer. All that done, I'm going to open a terminal, run Terraform init, then Terraform apply. I'm going to type yes, and I can see that my infrastructure is being created. All done, and that's my public IP. Everything that I specified on the main.tf file was created. Just to give you an example, I'm going to go to my Cloud Console. If I go to load balancing, I can see my Juice Shop load balancer, and the IP is exactly what I got outputted on my terminal. Let me visit this page. And here it is. I'm hosting the infamous Juice Shop app. So let's do some hacking, shall we? Go to account, login. My email is going to be an SQL injection. My password is going to be 123, login. And I successfully logged in. I am the admin. And now I'm going to show you how you can create Cloud Armor rules that are going to protect you and your vulnerable app. The first rule that I'm going to add is a rule that's going to be using pre-configured WAF regex and rules to block SQL injections attempts. I'm going to be using the latest stable version. You can write your own regex, your own rules. I'm going to be using the pre-configured one. Now, if I run Terraform apply again, I'm going to reapply only this new code that I have added. All done, and as you can see, I had one change, which is the rule that I added. Now, if I go back to my vulnerable web app and I try to perform the same SQL injection again, it's not going to work. I'm getting a 403. Essentially, my SQL injection is getting blocked by Cloud Armor before it even gets processed by the app. So let me try another exploit. I'm going to try to search for a product, but instead I'm going to send a cross-site scripting payload. And it works. This app is also vulnerable to cross-site scripting. Sure, I'll have to tell my developers to fix it, but for now, what can I do? I'm gonna go back to my WAF rules.yaml and I'm gonna add a rule that's gonna protect my app against XSS. Again, I can write my own rules, my own regex. I can block certain strings, certain characters, but I'm gonna be using the pre-configured WAF rules from GCP. Again, just gonna run Terraform apply. All done. Again, one change is the rule that I added back to my vulnerable app. I'm gonna try to send a cross-site scripting payload from another vector. And I'm getting a 403 for cross-site scripting payloads. And that's how you can add Cloud Armor WAF rules using Terraform that are gonna protect your vulnerable web app. But that's not the end all be all. You have to talk to your developers so that they fix the vulnerabilities. Don't 100% rely on the WAF. You gotta have a secure and strong app in the end.